Have you ever wondered why Atreus has so much compassion and wants to help people? It's because of this famous woman right here known as Faye, a person with a good heart. Even though she has her moments and secrets of rage as well, she's overall a good person and kind of helped Kratos for the better. She's a character that kind of knew how everything was planned out via prophecy, but she went against her own people, the giants, to make sure Kratos and Atreus was safe no matter what, even if it defied their own people. She didn't want them to know their fate, forging their own path because of her, and confirmed to go against her own people, just to protect them. Yeah, she was wifey material. And thanks to her help, Kratos actually ends up getting a happier ending to where he is actually loved for once. Like something crazy. Yeah, Faye was kind of the MVP. Remember that guy Balder that kept coming after Kratos? What if I told you Balder was never there to find Kratos? He was actually there to find Faye, Laufey, the Just. He was only there tracking her. He didn't know she was ashes at that point. Did you know Kratos low-key met a woman that had ridiculous fury, kind of like his young self, that Kratos never really learned about? Plenty of evidence of it. They even say she was drunk on rage, out of control type rage. Even Kratos is surprised at the level of degree of her anger. He even said not to this extent. He wasn't aware of her level of anger like this. He even says that would take a level of rage I never thought she was capable of. And they had way more in common than they thought. Yeah. Anger, learning new stuff about her even while she's gone. She had a fight with Thor. You already know Kratos has a son. We never really got much time to spend with the wife known as Faye. She's a giant that wielded the Leviathan axe that Kratos wields that has ice manipulation. Physically speaking, we don't get much screen time on her physicals, but you see how Kratos lifts up this log. You notice how she has her own log over here. Look, they imply that she's about to do it too, to show that she is physically a brute. Which I don't understand how Kratos didn't know she was not immortal, but seriously, we can see her actually physically move this big old log on her own, and it did not seem to be much effort if you keep your eyes on it. So you know she has superhuman attributes, even though we didn't see much of her. I would personally say whatever strength she does lack, she makes up for it with her energy projection or magical abilities, kind of like how Atreus works. God of War has a lot of different type of races, dwarves, deities, giants, some larger than others like mountain-sized ones, but then you can have smaller ones, like Atreus, for example, and you already know, Faye, Laufey, kind of similar to mythology. In the game, they called her Faye, Laufey. You see how they did that? I think we all can agree she died too early. She was very important in Kratos' life and changed him for the better. You can tell by her lore she was a skilled fighter, even if we have a limited knowledge about her or screen time. We know for a fact she wielded the overpowered Leviathan axe that's actually strong enough to match the mighty hammer Mjolnir, clash of raw power, lightning, and ice. She can use knives like the knife you see Atreus use in the first game. You can kind of see some angles of it when you do see her. Other than her knife skills, she can use a bow, kind of like how you see Atreus do. We never saw it, but there's a good chance she has special arrows that can hurt top tiers too. Just like has arrows that can hurt top tiers like Kratos for a little bit and sting them. She had this pretty strong shield, a part of her gear as well, that's strong enough to withstand punches from gods like Balder, who are strong enough to punch and knock out this planet-sized snake, and she wielded this shield too. If we had to guess her fighting style, it would probably be a mixture of Kratos and Atreus melee combat or bow and arrow combat with the bow. She's like a mixture of both. A good example is you see how Atreus used the bow and arrow, or even use a knife to slice them up. The dwarves that even created Mjolnir even talk about it. They even said the whole point of this axe that Faye also had was meant to be able to counter Mjolnir. That was the whole point of it. On top of all this mess, on stalemating, you remember this big old crater that Kratos and Thor made during their battle? The same crater that froze lightning. A lot of people don't know the reason on why Thor said this section of the fight felt familiar, freezing the lightning, is because Faye actually fought Thor in a similar fashion in the realm of Vanaheim, doing a lightning freeze thing too. They even mentioned, like the one his fight with Thor, Faye and Thor's fight messed up the valley. He didn't have a problem fighting and challenging top tier deities. Yeah, that battle must have been wild. Based on these stories, talking about how he swings the hammer wildly and stuff. Yep, proof that Thor and Faye did fight. The collateral of their fight made the town be left in shambles, shattered glass, broken buildings. They even asked what caused the destruction of this town, no buildings and stuff. It was indeed a battle, clash of metal in the sunlight. Hammer meeting remarkable axe. It was definitely this axe that matched it, so it had to be Faye. They even go as far as stating that Thor was in a fight for his life. Kratos even confirms it, saying yes, it was Faye that fought Thor in this valley. They even describe Thor as one of the most powerful of all the deities. You guys have respect for Valkyries, right? What if I told you the queen of the Valkyries, Freya, actually met Faye before? And I'm talking about Freya herself, stating, going as far as saying she's extraordinary. The Valkyrie queen herself said she couldn't believe that that warrior could have been Faye. The Valkyries are strong in their own right when it comes to this universe versions of Valkyrie. But in the lore, even they're not as mighty as Thor. And for Faye to be able to give Thor a challenge, drunk or not, it doesn't matter. Most giants still die from Thor, while drunk, the fact she survived lets you know her might. The same Thor that has the raw striking power to shake all of the realm, the same Thor that actually shook the entire tree of life that's infinite and holds all the universes within it. He splintered that with his striking power and accidentally caused time travel because the tree is everything. It transcends time and space, accidentally making the snake time travel. That's the thing Thor did, and she's matching him to a certain degree while drunk. Yet she battled this being, should not be slept on. When you really sit there and think about it, that kind of rage that caused destruction in this whole valley kind of makes sense considering what Thor has done to the giants, and she's a giant. So I would definitely say her rage is justifiable, but it's just that Kratos was shocked by it. I mean, she's a mighty warrior if she's a giantess warrior that thwarted a lot of Aesir plans, leading rebellions, saving beings and stuff to kind of be like a hero kind of. She seemed to be versatile in magics. That's why you see Atreus do magical stuff, or he's quick to learn magical stuff. This right here is a hint to that. She's actually good with magic that makes protection wards like you see in the first game on that tree in particular, to where they can kind of live in peace without Odin, Thor, and them messing with their lives, because, you know, Thor would definitely be after her if she knew she was just chilling because Thor hates giants and stuff. She's actually the reason for all of this, protection and stuff. Faye is the reason why there was a protection state around their big section of the entire woods that they was living peaceful at. That's where you see all this light-ish type of trees, confirming that she had marked them. More proof that they had magic wards and they was living in peaceful while without the other deities knowing is for the fact that Odin and them can literally just teleport wherever they want to attract beings, and they was able to live in peace this long. They definitely had some protection to where Odin couldn't just lurk on what they were doing. I mean, think about it. Thor and Odin just kind of pulled up. Super winter happened and it started messing up the wards. It shows if they could be discovered, they would have been found their home. And it wouldn't even been a question, really, if we being honest. But y'all, before I get going, gotta respect Faye. Get that in your head. She's a beast. Can we get some DLC for her? But what do you guys think? Do you respect her might? Do you want more showings of her? I want more showings. I want more visual proof of her strength, even though it's heavy implications that she lifted that log on her own at the very beginning of this vid and did all this bullcrap when she fought Thor. But you have to respect Faye. But thanks for the donations, guys. It helps out a lot. Respect her. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.